Hi, BonBon here. What I have for you today is a mod which will have very limited usefulness for most of you, most of the time. But I'm not saying that it's a useless mod, not at all. But there will be some people watching this show who don't even realise that the real problem that it addresses actually exists, along with others who do know about it, but aren't really that bothered. Eliminate all of this and you still need a very specific in-game circumstance to really benefit from the mod's functionality. And I guess that this is part of the reason why it took until September of this year, 2021, for one of our legendary modders to come up with a solution. Or maybe it just needed harmony. I digress. All of that said, there is one sizable minority in our community who will absolutely love this mod. And when I say love it, I mean they will really love it. Like when you don't realise you need glasses and somebody gives you glasses and you're like, hey, I can see. Why didn't I wear these things sooner? Well, sorry, I'm padding. Back to the point. This channel especially has a larger proportion of this kind of minority player. So there's a higher than average chance you are already this kind of player. And we'll get to the gritty of your niche in a few minutes. But let's start with the basics. Here I am in the start square of a fresh map. Now the map is my very own St Catherine's Point, link is in the description, but I have made a couple of edits for the benefit of this tutorial. Let's start with the technical stuff. Here we are on the border of the start square. Now you can't really see it, but the game renders the map mesh, aka the ground, differently in locked tiles from unlocked tiles. And it's the simple fact that you can't really see it most of the time that I mentioned that this mod would be of limited interest to most of you. But there are times when you can definitely see it, and this mod will rectify it. Let's skip across to my edited area. Here we have a canal and a road leaving the start square into the unlocked area. As we follow the road, it enters a tunnel, and that tunnel appears to be filled with soil and then to be grassed over. The canal is even more dramatic in its transition. Now all of this is visual only, it doesn't actually change the game. Cars will still drive through that tunnel and boats, if we filled the canal with water, would float along the surface. And then look at the edge of this road, it isn't even flush with the terrain, is it? So what is the problem? Well, it looks silly, and for some people this might actually spoil a very good screenshot. But if you're in that sizable minority that I mentioned earlier, by now you are probably rubbing your hands with glee and grinning from ear to ear. And yes, minority members, to answer the question you are thinking of right now, yes, the mod does do that. We'll get to that later. But patience, we'll come to it. We're doing some technical stuff first. So why does the game even do this? Well, the mesh in locked tiles is rendered at a lower resolution to where it is unlocked. Why? I don't know. But I assume it's for performance reasons. The game is, after all, quite processor intensive, especially when the city hits bigger numbers, and I suspect the developers realised this way back when they made the game and figured that a lower resolution in areas you weren't playing would save on some system resources. Now that's only a guess, but it makes sense to me, so I'm calling it. If you know differently, however, feel free to tell us all in the comments down below. So how do we get around this? Well, obviously you have to buy the tile, which is great if you have the funds. But what if you don't want to buy the tile? Say you're playing a 9-tile game and getting this tile just for a screenshot will mean you can't build your harbour somewhere else. Alternatively, you might be playing on the edge of the 25 tiles and the tile you need would be unavailable full stop. I guess in these rare exceptions the answer has been to save the game, buy the tile, or use an unlock mod, take a screenshot, shut down the game, launch the game, load your city from the saved game before you unlock the tile, and carry on. All for a screenshot. Probably not really worth the bother. That was until XLF 1024 developed the Common Ground mod. Thank you, XLF. So, this mod doesn't unlock the surrounding tiles, it simply gets the game to render them at the higher resolution, which in itself is genius. All you need to do is subscribe to the mod, link is in the description, remembering to like it up as you do so, and enable it in your content manager. Then, if you ever need any extra tiles rendered with all of the bells and whistles, simply go into the options, select the mod, and from the drop down menu choose the option that best suits your needs. The options are Center Tile, which is the centre of the map. The Start Tile, a tile which in most cases will be fully rendered anyway. Most cases we're coming to you minority members shortly. Square 25, the 25 playable tiles in the base game. Square 49, the 25 tile grid plus the ring around it, meaning that you'll never have a glitch in sight no matter how your base game style build evolves. Square 81, the entire freaking map. Adjacent to purchased, those tiles bordering any tile which you've already unlocked. Note however that this option isn't compatible with the 81 tile mod, but if you use the 81 tile mod I'm not really sure why you need Common Ground anyway. And finally, Custom, where you can manually select exactly which tiles you want to unlock. This grid matches with the map grid, north being north, though it isn't always very obvious in game which way north is, to most players, so there might be a degree of trial and error here. Plus, with tiles not being clearly marked across the map, exactly which location is this one anyway. So now we can make the game see our canal, tunnel and road edges as they were meant to be seen without having to unlock the tile. Excellent. Okay, the wait is over. Stop bouncing in your chairs. It's minority time. If you've never opened the map editor, you are probably unaware that the game renders everything at the lower resolution. If you've ever played a custom map, that creator has had to best guess with tunnels, canals, roads, and to a degree, building and prop placement too. The top creators would make their best guess, save the map, shut down the game, start the game, start a new game with their unfinished map, check for errors and imperfections to make a checklist, or use the mod Mapmaker's Marks to highlight these areas, then shut down the game, start the game, open the map editor, load the map, make the changes, save the map, shut down the game, start up the game, start a new game with the edited map, check again to see if the changes look right, and so on. Personally, I took hundreds of screenshots during each and every map build so I could compare the editor and the game map visuals side by side to try and get things absolutely perfect. But all of this has changed. Yes, as I confirmed to the question you shouted at the screen earlier, Common Ground does indeed work in the map editor. Personally, I'm just going to set any new map I'm working on to all 81 tiles being unlocked in the Common Ground mod and be done with it. Map makers across the world have just had a huge burden lifted from their shoulders, and on behalf of this community, thank you XLF, thank you so much. And that's it for today's show. If you're hoping for an exciting showpiece or a set play like last week's Navigable Aqueduct, I promise you there is another one coming, and this one's even more mind-blowing. So to not miss that, make sure you have subscribed to the channel and hit the notification bell. I'll be back tomorrow with What's Map, finding you the best map for your next city build, and I'd love for you to join me. But that's it for today. I've been BonBonB, you've been very, very welcome. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.